What up, y'all? It's your guy Dawson from D&D TV. Thank you for rating, commenting, and subscribing. Everybody who's donated, those of y'all who will, you know I appreciate it. Also, go over to my other YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe over there, Dawson Speak. I appreciate it. Man, look here. Now, can somebody please just shut the Catholic Church down? I mean, lock the doors and throw away the keys because these priests ain't gonna act right. They're just not gonna do right. Now, this story took place down here in South Florida on Miami Beach, right there on South Beach rather, last month. And I thought that some YouTuber or somebody would talk about it, but nobody wanted to touch the issue. And I don't blame them. I didn't want to talk about it then, but I had it in a list of things for me to eventually talk about. So I got time today to talk about these nasty priests down here on South Beach. Now, before I get into this story, I'm going to dedicate this video to the family and in the memory of Agnes Hicks. Y'all remember Agnes Hicks. Agnes Hicks was the woman who passed away, and she wanted her funeral in the Catholic church that was in her town that she was baptized in as a child. And so her family, once she passed away, they had the funeral there. Now, someone in the family accidentally knocked over the church's sacred golden chalice and broke it. And the priest at that time told the family to get the hell out of my church, get this body. He pointed at Agnes Hicks's body in the casket and told them to get the hell out of my church. And it was so sad to see that family have to take their mother's body to another church to basically funeralize her. And at that time, I was like, man, something's gonna happen. All of this evilness that's going on, not only in the Catholic Church, but in church in general, there's going to be exposing, and it's not going to come through YouTube, people. It's not going to come through the media. Stuff is just going to start happening, and it's starting to take place. 2 priests were caught having oral sex on Ocean Drive, and that was priest Diego Barrio, 39 years old, and Edward Cortez, 30 years old. Now, I'm going to let you all watch this video, and I will be back with the rest of my commentary.
Today, 2 priests caught laying hands on each other, but it was an act that landed both men behind bars.
Police say it happened in broad daylight in a parked car on Ocean Drive. Local 10 News reporter Andrew Perez is live on Miami Beach with the details. Andrew.
Police saying that the real problem here is where this happened, how this all happened. Both of these men at this hour, they remain in jail. It's broad daylight in Miami Beach around 3:30 p.m. Authorities get a call about 2 men performing sex acts in this car. Police show up. There's no window tinting. Whatever's happening is pretty much on display for all to see.
Our officer was able to observe the act. In fact, to get their attention, he had to knock on the window.
Well, they were arrested and come to learn they're both priests from out of town.
Where are you from, sir?
I came from Chicago, and I'm from Colombia.
Edwin Giraldo-Cortez appeared in court using an interpreter. Diego Barrio was also arrested, both men charged with lewd and lascivious behavior. This is the actual car where these priests were found, and then take a look at where all of this happened. I mean, this is the world-famous Ocean Drive. Right near that car, a children's playground.
It's definitely shocking.
Parents nearby reacting, saying that wasn't the time or place. The entire incident, according to the report, was also caught on police body cam.
Even if it's for adults, seeing them, I mean, it's quite shocking.
Now at 11 and first on 4, a pair of priests arrested accused of a lewd crime on South Beach, and new tonight, they are both out of jail. Police say someone caught them what should have been a very private act out in the open in the middle of the day.
The priests are visiting from Chicago, and tonight their archdiocese was quick to take action. CBS 4's Peter Dench is live with an update to the story you saw first on 4. Peter.
Well, Lauren, there was a quick response from the Archbishop in Chicago. He said neither priest would be allowed to minister anymore. They're accused of a sex act inside a car on South Beach. We tried to speak with both men as they left jail tonight. Covering his head with a white T-shirt, Edwin Giraldo-Cortez had nothing to say as he left the TGK Correctional Center.
What were you doing in that car?
Eventually, he darted away in the darkness. Diego Barrio did not hide his face, but he too walked away without talking about the same charges against him of indecent exposure and lewd and lascivious behavior.
Where are you from, sir?
I came from Chicago, and I'm from Colombia.
Both men told investigators they are priests here from a Chicago suburb. The address they gave comes back to Mission San Juan Diego Parish. Giraldo-Cortez said he was there 2 months and was scheduled to go back to Colombia on Wednesday. They were arrested on Ocean Drive, accused of performing a sex act inside this car Monday afternoon. A woman who works nearby saw police approach the car. She did not want to reveal her identity.
She banged on the window, and I saw some type of movement, like there was some type of sexual activity going on.
The major concern that I have is the fact that it was in public. The police officer can come and just watch. That is the problem.
The judge made note of the location where this happened. Police have the same concern.
Their profession it's irrelevant, their profession. In fact, our trouble with this is that this is in broad daylight for anyone to see, including children. There's a time and a place for everything, and this certainly is not the time and place.
The car involved in all of this on 13th Street was not far from a playground. Candace Parker was with her son at the playground.
The fact that they're a priest is like above and beyond shocking.
Now, the Archdiocese of Chicago said in a statement that it has a responsibility to ensure that those who serve their people are fit for the ministry, adding it takes this very seriously. Now, because the charges are misdemeanors, the bonds are low, just $250 and $500. We're live in West Miami-Dade. Peter Dench, CBS 4 News Tonight.
All right, y'all, now let's go in. Now, I know this is not a good look for these two priests nor their church, or basically the Catholic Church in general. Now, I know the Catholic Church considers the law of clerical celibacy to be not a doctrine, but a discipline. Also, clerical celibacy is seen as a special gift by God, which sacred ministers can easily remain close to Christ with undivided heart and can dedicate themselves more freely to the service of God and their neighbor. Now, they definitely dedicate themselves to their neighbor, as we can see in this situation right here. But like I stated before, if you are going to be a priest, if you're going to be a pastor, an evangelist, a prophetess, a prophetess, an apostle, whatever, you know what the call is and what it requires. And it does take discipline. But you have a lot of people, and especially when it comes to like in the evangelical, people, they're just gifted. And I tell you this all the time. Some people are great speakers. They have charisma. They can move the crowd. And some people do have the gift that they can prophesy, or they're basically psychics. Just like psychics in the world. And I know we like to call them witches and warlocks and stuff, but get this, there's some witches and warlocks in the church too, who know that they can easily get money, get their houses paid for, go on their vacation, pay for their children. They know they have that gift, and they will come to church and start speaking over people. And you think, oh, because they're using that gift for God, they're using that. Let me tell you something. Some of these people are more crooked than the people that you all say so-called are in the world. And Leandra Johnson told y'all, church is the only place where people can get robbed and nobody gets in trouble. Nobody calls the police. Nobody goes to jail. And you're back every week for more and more and more of the same nonsense. And many of you have nothing to show for it. I was reading a comment just the other day. A lady was telling me how this minister kept calling her around about 12 a.m. at night, telling her she's a virtuous woman and he's still a virgin, and God told him that she's gonna be his wife and all this stuff. And I'm glad that lady wasn't silly enough to believe that mess, because she said, you know, I'm watching your video on this whole HIV thing, and she said these men don't care. Some of the women don't care either. Some of them just want to have sex, and after that, that's it. They don't care what they leave you with or nothing. They will embarrass you. And see, when I come with this stuff, people get mad at me. Oh, Dawson, why are you talking about the Catholic priest? Why are you talking about this? Because when they do stuff to the children, y'all don't want to talk about it then. Let's go pray. Or we gonna let God handle it. No, we got power, authority, and dominion down here on earth, and it's time for us to start using it. Now, these men right here should have known better. Now, people say that sexual repression leads to sexual obsession. They have all different kinds of cliches when people get caught up in sexual sins or different things like that, or people get exposed and everything. Look, I'm telling you like this. These are two gay men who happen to be priests. That's the Catholic Church problem. Now, I know when I say stuff like that, people get mad with me. And on one of the videos that I took a little break from YouTube because the people were coming for me, a lot of the ex-gay people got mad with me. And this video I did on the pastor who had sex up in prison with those men, his family, and some of the people in his church, they came for Dawson, and they were calling people trying to get, I don't know what they were trying to do, but I told them I stand by everything I do on my channel. I don't do celebrity news. I do my research. And they were coming hard, trying to get things knocked down, take this away. You ain't taking nothing. I know my rights as a YouTuber. I know what I can say. And if you're doing something that's going to get you exposed, if you're doing something, if you're saying one thing, if you're in the Catholic Church or in church in general, and you're up there preaching to people and you're living totally different than what you're saying, people going to look at you like you crazy. And as you can see, the mother who was at the park with her child was saying that is sick. And for them to be priests, because she's thinking you're a priest. Well, I don't know why she's thinking that with everything that's going on with priests. Not anything that happens with church people anymore. I don't look. See, some of y'all are there. Oh, they're a pastor, they're an evangelist, and they have a church. Let me tell you something. I have grown up in church all my life. That mess don't mean nothing to me. I'm not mesmerized by that. I don't give you no special accolades for that. I've been a bishop for 35 years. That don't mean nothing. There's been whores for 35 years too. There's been people who robbed people blind for 35 years too. Y'all got to stop giving so freely because people use, I'm a priest, I'm an apostle, I'm a prophetess, I'm this. And the Lord told me, well, if you sit still enough, the Lord can talk to you too. Now, these two priests did bond out of jail, as you saw them running out of the jail right there. And they will go on with their lives. But if they try to go to another church or if they go to another job, this will follow them for the rest of their lives. It's going to be hard to apply for a job or any type of position and sit across from someone and to explain to them why you have a charge for lewd and lascivious activity. Why do you have a charge for indecent exposure? It's going to be hard to explain that to somebody when you're trying to get a job. Or someone has to do a background check. And they call you in and say, explain this, what happens? And then they do their digging and it's all over the internet now. Now, there were some people on some articles that I were looking at and they had questions. Some people said, you know, why the arrest? They're no better than anyone else. If they were a man and a woman, would you think differently? That's a good question. And somebody said, definitely not something worthy of an arrest and a mugshot. And someone put, is this really something we need to jail people over? And I do admit, there are other things in the world that seems that are, I think that, cops should spend more of their times doing. But look here, the fact that this was on Ocean Drive on Labor Day weekend in front of everybody, and there's a playground right down from where they were, and people are walking by, and the cop comes and knock on the window and has to go around to the other side to get their attention. I think the cop was justified for arresting them. Now, y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Go off in the comments. It's my opinion, your opinion. Let me know what you think. Again, it's your boy Dawson. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. Peace.